Alright, yo yo yo, it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we're back in the world of Boridil, the kingdoms of Boridil. Today, a couple different things can happen. The players are finally going to get to Sledora, which they've been trying to get to for technically the past 8 months. But because of going to the Shadowfell and the time skip thing, that obviously, changed how things went. So, because of that, now they've got to kind of go through different process. Uh, the seas have been overrun by Dagon and his followers. The party last session had to fight off one of his warlocks named Donvis, and they were successful. And today we'll see what happens as they get to Sledora, because, things are going to happen, obviously. So it should be fun. Alrighty. So the last time we met our heroes, you guys were on your way to the Sledora Empire. It's taken you about 8 months to get there because of reasons. But you're finally getting closer and closer, and you can just you can feel it in your guts that you're about to be there. But alas, Donvis, your friend fellow, Cyrene's old lover and potential, I guess, husband material, maybe if he uh, stops hitting the bottle so hard. Uh, he stops you guys, requesting that you hand over Cyrene, and he'll allow you guys to go without any sort of interruption to the rest of your trip. Naturally, you guys said no, because who doesn't like a good fight against somebody that is obsessed with one of your party members? And he summoned a bunch of little water elementals that started to essentially meld around the sailors on the ship and begin to use their immense pressure, internal pressure, to crush them, essentially killing them without leaving kind of a trace, if you say. You guys were successful in finishing off the rest of the water elementals and Donvis, but it wasn't by your actions alone. There was something in the water, something that Cyrene saw a glimpse of, but wasn't able to describe to you guys except for as a big black shadow. And most of you had seen, except for Mirrodin, of course, had seen this column of lightning appear from underneath Donvis as he ended up losing concentration of his spells that he was using to, one, hold your ship in place, and two, have all these water elementals that he was controlling. Just by that feat alone, you can tell that he's getting more and more powerful. But as Cyrene looked overboard, she didn't see any trace of Donvis. All she saw was that black shadow, and then it swam away before she could get a proper glimpse as to what it was. After a few more hours at sea, moving forward to Sledora, bypassing this big ass, I guess you could call it not a hurricane, but a storm. Once you guys bypassed the storm to get to the Sledora Empire, there was a man overboard called from one of the sailors. And as they went in to rescue, they were able to come back with a dragonborn named Jaidas, who was telling you guys he's been trying hard to get back to his home at the Kurakuri Empire to the north. But from what you guys have been told, is it's completely enshrouded in a fog. Then, from what he has told you, every time he has attempted to go through the fog, essentially the ship gets destroyed. The crew goes, in many different directions, and he ends up being one of the only ones that he's seen come out of it alive, which is very weird to him. But he was hoping that he could entice you guys with half of his treasure, whatever the hell amount that could be, and you guys would help him. But so far, all of you have said no. Uh, Also, a good note, Lacan is currently locked up with Jaidas in one of the crew quarters underneath the deck because Lacan feels that he cannot be trusted because during that combat, he killed a man, he hurt his friend, and he was generally on and off of your team during that fight. And he wasn't able to explain it until sort of towards the end of that fight, and he could tell that whatever happened when him and Cyrene were taken away, for some reason this is like a source, or you guys were near a source of power to where it was starting to overtake his mind as well as Cyrene's. And with that, we will start our session with you guys on board the Masoa. I believe... Oh shit. I forgot that I did a thing. I'm going to put you on a random map while I fix this. Alright. Now it should be fixed. You guys don't see the whole underside of the deck, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Dope. That is what we want. Alright, so in that regard then, as the crew are going about their business, tending to the sails and to some of the ship, Jaidas and Lacan are downstairs, and as Lacan is reading through his manual, Jaidas periodically interrupts, or tries to interrupt his train of thought. So, what exactly are you researching there?
Well, based on what you said earlier, it seems like you already know.
Well, yes, but do you know?
Not the
That's
full
my
extent.
question.
No, I do not.
Well, if it doesn't bother you at all, do you think maybe I can leave and go and talk to some of your other comrades? Perhaps they would like to listen to my stories. Not that you're boring or anything, it's just that this is a boring predicament.
As long as you don't try to interfere with our course.
Of course not. Get it? Course? Of course not. I'm silly and I know I am. You should try to humor me and at least chuckle. He stands up and goes to the door and jiggles the handle, but it's still currently locked. What is the friend? What is the name of your friend that has the key?
Alfric. Though
And
you'll have to climb out the window like you attempted to earlier.
Oh, will you allow me to do that?
Very well. Go ahead.
Perfect. I always liked a good afternoon climb. And he unlatches the window and hoists it up, and he starts to crawl out of it. And then he looks back in. Are you sure that you want to be stuck in here by yourself? Do you need any refreshments or anything? I'm sure there's some tea on board.
They'll get me when they need me.
Huh, very well. And you see him starting to use his claws to like dig into the wood and start to bring himself up. For those of you on deck, except for Mirrodin since he's blind, but Toidio turns around to see as Jaidas comes up. Oh, yes. He starts to brush himself off. He's like, well, that was quite fun and reinvigorating. Well, the rest of you, hello. I feel like our meeting was quite too short. Before you all locked me in that room with your friend, who didn't want me there either. I think I'm picking up a pattern here.
Well, it'd make it easier if you just maybe didn't talk so much, to put it bluntly.
Why not? What else are you doing here at sea? There's nothing for miles as he starts to look out. See? Nothing. Except for the cloud to the north, which if we head there, there's treasure. He looks at Edmund Fifth.
We ain't going to the treasure that you so fervently want to go towards, okay? I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
Ah, very well, very well. So then, if
Hmm.
you won't help me, maybe I can perhaps help you in some way. What are we heading to Sledora for? They've got a bunch of horse manure, is that what we're after?
What? No. What do you mean horse manure?
Well, Sledora is known as the Horse Lords. It's kind of common knowledge.
Oh.
But because of that and their immense army of horses, and horse riders, of course, there's a lot of manure there.
We're going there to meet some people.
Who? Perhaps I know them. I've been around the world quite a bit, honestly.
The Temple of the Nightbringer, the Lightbringer.
Ah, a very ancient place. What
Yeah.
business do you have there?
Oh, just the impending demon lords. I'm trying
Collapse
to
of the
figure out-
world.
You know that. Yeah, I'm not sure how common that is, how common knowledge that is right now, but
Oh, the demon lords, I feel that everyone knows that their presence is here. And if they don't, they're living under a rock.
yeah. So we're going there to we were peacekeepers at one point. I mean, still kind of are, but that they've been somewhat disbanded. And we're trying to still conduct ourselves.
Very interesting. Well, let's see then. If you think that the Lightbringers can do something for you, what plan of attack do you intend to use to get there?
Well, we're on the boat for one. What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying there seems to be a direct correlation with your path and that of a demon lord in between it.
Well, we're just gathering information at this point because we don't quite know what we're doing against them.
Very well, very well. Perhaps then you'll humor me. At my
Listening.
home, I have treasure that could help you in this matter. But first we have to get there.
Later. Not before we go to the Temple of the Lightbringer.
He kinda sighs and goes, it was worth another try. Well, this Temple of the Lightbringer, from what I've heard, it's been not deserted per se, but it's been underutilized for quite some time. Most likely decades. Do any of you worship gods or goddesses?
I look towards.
I don't think so.
Mirrodin. No?
Why would you think I worship anyone?
No reason. No reason.
Really?
The whole patron thing you got going there.
I'm like
don't
side-eyeing
know
both of
that.
you right now.
And perhaps, Cyrene would.
I know of gods, but I don't really worship any in particular.
The only ones I know of gods too. I don't worship them. Just people.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
I guess. Well then, if you do not worship gods, and you're heading to a temple of the Lightbringer, do you even know who the Lightbringers are?
We have some idea. Vaguely.
Oh?
Would you like to tell us
hear.
a story about them?
Perhaps, but I would like to hear your rendition first.
I mean, I don't know. We don't know too much. We were just really sent on a mission. They know information about demon lords.
They might know information about demon lords.
Perhaps. Let's see.
They're our best bet for understanding more about the demon lords at this point.
I would be inclined to agree. You see, the Lightbringers, at least the Temple of the Lightbringer, is essentially... How do you say this? It is the material plane's pathway to the outer planes. Primarily the good ones. So where your gods and goddesses reside, and any of their any of their followers, worshippers, things like that in the afterlife. The fact that the Temple of the Lightbringer has been out of commission for so long leads me to believe that something's been going on there, and no one's known about it or bothered to help out in any way, which also might be the reason why the Demon Lords are able to even get to the material plane. The gods don't know about it.
Is there perchance a temple of, I don't know, the Duskbringer, the Darkbringer, or something like that? Something to
Duskbringer, Darkbringer.
be the antithesis to the Lightbringer temple?
Perhaps. I've not heard of them, which probably means that if they do exist, they operate in the shadows.
Very apt.
Regardless, this might be a reason why... Is that a dot? It is. Get rid of it.
Thank you, Brady.
I totally did not see it.
I thought it was a speck on my monitor when I tried to
That's
move
what
it, and I was like,
tried wiping it away. I was like, wait a second.
Oh well. There are probably some sort of organization that's hell-bent on destroying what the Lightbringers aim to do for this plane of existence. And if they
Well,
do
it seems
exist,
like
then
they've
so
been
far
pretty-
they are successful.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. There's another one? Who keeps putting those there? Who's doing this? Oh,
What the
are they my
fuck?
rocks? Yeah, hold on. Someone's doing that because there's a smiley
It
face
looks
now.
suspiciously
Hold on,
like
black
it's
is Jeff.
I see it now.
I just started doing it after you said.
Yeah, black is Jeff. Your colors betrayed you. So yes, perhaps if you go to the Temple of the Lightbringer, you'll find more about what you can do to aid them. And if you aid them, I'm sure you aid the world. How neat is that? Perhaps they're the way that we can get me back to the Kirakuri.
I was thinking that, given my... I was thinking that if we made land at Sledora, did our stuff at the Lightbringer Temple, and then we could use the land passage to get to your place, rather than try to sail a boat through the fog. It just doesn't seem to be a very consistently good idea to sail a boat into fog that you haven't been able to penetrate.
False. We have been able to get through the fog, it's just not where we intended to go. One time, we went from the south part of the land, and we ended up on the north side. Very strange, because there's not a direct route or river large enough for a vessel, but we did it. I would say that is adequate penetration. What is so funny, merfolk?
Nothing. So it's some sort of weird dimensional shift thing going on in the fog.
That seems to be it, yes.
Okay.
And since the fog didn't appear until these demon lords started taking over various parts of the world, perhaps aiding the Lightbringers will diminish the fog to where we could finally get me home. And then, if that's the case, I don't have to give my treasure to anyone. This is actually going quite well. I like talking to you all.
We're so glad.
He starts to pace back and forth, thinking to himself, He looks over to Abel and Enryu, who are kind of just standing there, idle, AFK, tagged by their username above their head, since they're not here. There goes Jeff again. Just put cat whiskers on him. Is that
A
what
few
you were
people.
doing?
I'll give them goatees and stuff too.
Most
And
of.
stuff.
So after a few hours, Jidus goes back underneath the ship. He goes to check on Lacan and see if he wants anything. Excuse me, good sir, are you hungry? I was thinking of going fishing.
How much total time has passed for the party?
Probably since the Donvis encounter, about 4 hours.
A little bit.
Oh, very good. I will return. He comes back up. Excuse me, might we slow the ship down just a tad bit, so that Cyrene and I can go fishing?
Are you hungry?
Are you not?
Are you? I gave you a berry not a few hours ago. Should be good for the rest of the day.
Is it
Yes,
smart to
but
go in the water?
I don't think there's anything to fear now that we've... Well, my ship was destroyed by some sort of angry water elemental beast, and I've seen splotches of elemental energy as I've been going through the ship. I fear that you guys went through the same sort of ordeal, did you not?
I mean, I wouldn't disagree.
So yes, I don't think that if you dispatch them once, then you can dispatch them again. This area is a little bit further away from Dagon's influence, so I don't think that his little minions will be of bother.
All right. Well, you want us to slow the ship so you can fish?
Yes.
I'm always more than happy to go in the water.
I kind of feel like we should just keep going to get to our destination faster.
He looks over to the other crew members. Are you all hungry? And they're like, we have food downstairs that we can prepare for ourselves. You're more than welcome to eat some of it too. And he kind of pokes his head up and he's like, if it's not fresh, I don't want it. I deserve that at least.
I look over to the captain and I like put my arms up like what the hell to him and see if he motions anything back.
He sits there and goes, honestly, this is your trip. If your group wants to allow him to go fishing, I will do it. And if not, then he will have to wait until we come to shore.
I looked at everyone else like, I'd rather just keep going. What do you guys think?
Abel
Leave
walks
it up
up.
to everyone else.
Abel walks up and goes, I agree with Alfric.
Well, I say for now we just kind of hold off on the fishing.
He walks over towards Mirrodin. So how did you get this cute little pseudo-dragon?
I am a warlock, and Toidio here, Lord of Berries, is my familiar.
Ooh. A warlock, you say?
A warlock, I do say.
Might I ask how you came about requesting your powers?
Well, no, because I'm not 100% sure myself.
Very strange. Oh, you hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit, Gerald got his computer working.
Was
Will
that the only
Gerald's
reason why he's not?
AFK tag go away?
Huh?
Will he be joining?
I believe so.
Excellent.
So yeah, his AFK tag will pop out or pop off once he gets in here. So you're not exactly sure where you got your powers from, or you don't know how you came about them?
I don't
Or
know
is
how
it
I
mix
came
of
about
both?
them. I have an inkling of where they came from. I've done a little bit of research. It's something called the Chaos.
The chaos.
The Chaos. That's the general classification of my warlock abilities.
Interesting indeed. And so, I guess because this chaos is the entity itself, it was more sporadic as to how you came about the powers than you looking for them?
That is correct. Occasionally, these sort of visions come to me that allow me to haphazardly choose new powers or to get rid of old ones. It's also the reason why I'm currently blind. So there's that.
My word, you are blind.
Yes, we've gone over this. Remember?
I know, but I am just remembering because it's been a couple hours since I noticed. Which is good, because you haven't seen the silly faces I've been making at you. Or have you? Are you pulling my leg?
Torio, has he been making silly faces at me?
Which you hear in your mind, kind of.
Hmm.
I'm also kidding. But also not. I'm dropping frames for some reason. Do I sound laggy at all?
No.
Not
Mm-mm.
particularly.
Not at all.
Okay.
I think you're dropping frames because there are so many more lines on the screen that there used to be.
Yeah, who keeps doing that?
That's weird. That's very weird. Well, nonetheless, I would always be inclined as to finding out more. Warlocks are very interesting creatures, indeed. What is this on my face?
I don't know.
I like it. A wide-brimmed hat with a point. Slytherin! What the hell was that? Kidding. That didn't happen. Get that shit out of here. Ooh, kitty. A couple more hours go by of him essentially just asking random questions to each of you. And then finally it comes to, as the days go on, it's kind of the same sort of deal. He gets sort of like in your personal business, asking multiple questions, things like that. And at this point, I've come to realize you guys are not wanting to talk to him very much. So, is there anything you guys do and talk to each other about during the next couple days of your travels?
Not particularly.
Pretty sure Lacan just, he hangs himself.
Terrible.
Oh no.
Alfric, you go downstairs and you notice Lacan is
Oh,
hanging. Mirrodin, you go down there too, and Cyrene, you go, and the horrors is Lacan is dead.
Oh my
Oh, no.
god.
Jaides comes down and goes, sorry Sap couldn't crack the code. I understand immensely what he's going through.
well, let's pat him down.
You guys are back on the ship.
Y'all don't know. Jaidas could have done that and pretended it was suicide.
No,
True.
yeah.
Did you get a new mic read?
You sound
No.
amazing. You sound
Or-
pretty sick.
Yeah, you sound
My-
very different.
I shouldn't, but my voice might be a little hoarse. I don't know if that's
Okay.
it though.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, if you guys don't have anything you want to talk amongst yourselves about, you guys end up getting to where one of the gentlemen that's in the crow's nest shouts out, "Approaching vessel!"
Is it a new day? Please tell me it's a new day.
Yeah, it's a new day. Go ahead and
Oh
roll
my
for the
God.
day.
Sweet.
Yes, not blind.
Yay.
Surprising.
So yeah, essentially 3 days have passed, but you only roll once because it doesn't matter for all those days. Unless you want to gamble, you may gamble.
I don't. I like not being blind. It's fine. No, this is great.
Okay. So as this person yells "ship approaching," he then yells down, "It looks like an official Sledoran vessel, Captain." And afterwards, Edmund is starting to give orders of go half-mast, start to slow the ship down, things like that. And as the vessel gets a little bit closer, you see a bunch of different armored figures on it. One of them in particular, a female, wearing this black plate mail. And as they come closer, you can hear shouting, almost as if it's like coming from like a megaphone. "We are official Sledoran investigators, and we are requesting permission to board your ship. Deny this request, and we will sink you. How do you plead?"
They will
Not
They will
guilty.
sink you guys.
I look over to the captain and say, "Well, we can let him on."
Of course. You think I want to go through all of that, losing all my men, and then just get sunk by these guys?
No, I mean like then yeah, say the word. I feel like they're waiting for you.
He orders the men to put the sails up, and as they put the sails up, they then drop anchor, and this ship ends up getting close enough to where imagine that there is a ship over here. I don't have a big ass token for it, so I don't feel like looking for one right now.
Or drawing one.
Exactly. Eventually, the armored figure comes over, and this is her. She's got wavy black hair and a very slender face, and this black plate mail with sort of gold inscribed like accents, I guess you could say, is appropriate. As she comes over, she also brings with her a few soldiers. And I'll just put a couple tokens, but in total, there's like 6 soldiers, all wearing essentially the same design, but I'm just going to put 3 tokens so we don't have 1,000 tokens to go through. "I am Oksana, High Inquisitor of the Sledora Empire. All of you may be wondering why we have stopped you here, and I have come to tell you. All ships that go to the Sledora harbor are essentially being searched. All the crew are being questioned. We are essentially in the middle of manhunt. So I will be asking each and every one of you some questions, and we will be doing this in private. If you lie to me or try to lie to me, I will not allow you to enter Sledora. If any of your members are not allowed to enter Sledora, we have a few options. We can either A, we can hold them on our ship until you are done with your business in Sledora, and when you come back, we will hand them back over. Or, all of you can turn around and leave. I will not allow anyone that I deem unfit to visit Sledora into my borders. Is that understood?
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, we will be conducting this private questioning with a spell known as the Zone of Truth. Are you all familiar with this?
I believe I've heard of it.
Yes.
Essentially, the Zone of Truth, you have an option to try to resist it or to let it take its effects. I will know if you try to resist it, and if you do resist it, I will deem you unfit to enter Sledora. Is that understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Final thing, and this goes for the captain. All of you are to remain above deck. If you go under deck, I will send one of my men to come with you and make sure that you are not trying to hide anything from me. This is a time of war, and we are not leaving any stone unturned. This will take quite a few hours, so I impede you to be patient. If you try to rush me, I will start over. I do not care.
We have a friend that's below deck and some of the other crew members. Yeah, allow me to go get him. Okay.
Yes, you go with him. And one of the soldiers accompanies you down to go and get Lacan. I
Okay.
assume.
Oh shit. Yeah. Just drew on
Yeah,
accident.
you did.
Wow.
Okay.
Just jump overboard, Lacan. Save yourself.
Okay.
While he is doing that, all of you go ahead and just make a line. Captain, I will be using your private quarters for this, as it has the most room and the most appeal. Is that okay? And he kind of just goes, yeah, that's perfectly fine, I guess. I don't think I really have any decision in this. He's like, good man to know when he does not have any say. Now, she looks around. You there, merfolk, you're first. Come with me.
God damn it.
She goes into the captain's quarters. And when you guys get
Siren
in there,
follows.
she casts the spell Zone of Truth, which, if you wish to try to resist it, make a wisdom saving throw. And if you don't, let me know. Or charisma saving throw.
So she would know if we failed it, though, right?
She would know if you attempt, so if you attempt to resist it and you do, she'll know that you resisted it. But if you attempt to resist it and you fail, she just knows that you're under the Zone of Truth spell.
Okay. I won't even bother then.
Okay. Be right back. I have a few simple questions for you. This shouldn't take too long, depending on your answers. So,
Okay.
first things first, what is your name?
Cyrene.
Cyrene. Is there more to it?
Yes, of the House Araxi.
Ah, so nobility then.
Used to be.
Used to be. Yes, I heard about your people's all of a sudden disappearance. Do you have any idea what's happened to them?
I don't.
That is quite ominous, yes. Regardless, what is your home?
Well, I have some homes. Obviously, my previous home was the city of the merfolk, which I can't remember right now off the top of my head. Hold on. I have it
Triton.
written down. Triton. Yeah, that's what it was. It used to be Triton, and then when
And since then, they have all disappeared then. So you
That's what I've
consider
been
yourself
told.
homeless?
Not, well, I mean, once I joined the Peacekeepers, then we lived, in their city-state, but I wouldn't necessarily say homeless because I'm around so much.
Very well, very well. We do not have to get in it, it's just a simple question. So
Simple
you are
question,
a
but
peacekeeper of the City of Guilds, but once they dissolved?
we are still attempting to complete the City of Guilds and the Peacekeepers' missions.
Very peculiar, even though they dissolved some months ago, from what I've heard. Might I ask why it is that you refuse to give it up and go back to find your people?
For the betterment of the world.
Very interesting. You have a very good heart. So far, I see no reason not to allow you into Sledora. But
Mm.
who, if anyone, do you worship? Do you worship a god, goddess, maybe a patron deity, or perhaps a demon?
No one
Or
in
devil?
particular.
Very interesting. Had it not been for the zone of truth, I don't know if I would believe you, but regardless, it matters not. So your reason for visiting, might I ask, what exactly are you here in Sledora for?
We're here to meet people.
Who?
We're not sure in particular, but we are attempting to get to the Temple of the Lightbringers.
Ah, so you are here for the temple. That is quite peculiar. Not many people have been to the Temple of the Lightbringer in many decades. Why do you think the Temple of the Lightbringer has purpose for you?
As I said, for the betterment of the world.
Ah. Final question, and I will let you go. Do you pose any threat to Sledora?
No.
Ah. Very, very good. In that case, I will allow you to enter. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Oh, they're back.
You there, blonde-haired, are
Oh,
you
good. It's
elf?
my turn. I am a type of elf, yes.
Very well. You're next. These questions are quite simple, and I will be casting Zone of Truth, or you will be entering the Zone of Truth now.
Very well. Go ahead.
And as you enter the Zone of Truth, do you attempt to resist?
Nah, dude.
Okay. First of all, what is your name?
My name is Mirrodin Elbolar.
Interesting, very, very interesting. Where is your home?
I have honestly forgotten, like, the actual name. It's the Sacred Grove, right?
Correct.
I hail from the Sacred Grove.
The Sacred Grove, you say? That is quite peculiar. That means you're Eladrin, is it not?
That is true. I am a type of elf that is known as the Eladrin.
So, might I ask you, just for personal question, is why would you leave your home when you have everything you need?
Because I am in search of excitement and adventure.
Ah, very interesting. Speaking of excitement and adventure, why have you come to Sledora?
I am, with my party, in search of a place called the Temple of the Lightbringer. As during my previous employment, I was tasked with going to a place. This was about 8 months ago. And we failed because we took too long. We have decided that we were going to, regardless, go to this place and make sure that we didn't miss anything due to our incompetence.
Interesting. Why, I do not need to know the details. I'm sure it was a interesting experience, to say the least. Then, if you are heading to the Temple of the Lightbringer, do you worship any particular gods, goddesses, maybe patron deities, or devils or demons?
You are not the first person to ask me that question recently. No, I do not worship anyone in particular.
Very good, acceptable. And then, my final question then, do you pose any sort of threat to Sledora?
No.
Perfect. In that case, I will allow you to enter. You may leave.
Alright.
She walks out, and Mirrodin comes out. Alright, you there, wizard. You're next.
All right, lead the way.
Oops. As you enter the zone of truth, you will want to resist. I implore that you do not. Go ahead and enter.
I
If you
enter.
wish to resist it, you may. by rolling a charisma save.
I
And if
don't
not, tell
resist
me.
it.
Okay. First, what is your name?
Alfric?
Alfric.
I don't really have a last name.
Interesting. If you do not have a family name, then what empire do you come from?
Real close to the, I forget the
Sea
forest
of
name, to be honest.
Vetus?
Yeah, Sea of Vetus. Or
And
the Black...
Twisted Wood?
Yeah, near there. It's a small little area. It's secluded.
The
in
Twisted
mountains.
Woods, in.
Yeah,
And you are human, correct?
As far as I know, yeah.
Might I ask then a personal question?
Sure.
How is a human able to live within the magical realm of the Twisted Wood? From what I've heard is that if human deviates from the trail left there by the Fae, bad things happen to them. Care to explain?
Well, we live in a little community that knows how to deal with that. We're not really affected by any of the woods.
Very, very interesting. I would be inclined to ask you more about this, but it does not affect your getting into Sledora, so perhaps after I have concluded my investigation, if we have time, you would sit down with me and we could discuss it. This could be very beneficial to the Sledora Empire and perhaps create an ally.
Yeah, sure.
Very good, very good. What are your current allegiances?
We are part of the Peacekeepers, or what's left of them, to be honest.
That is very strange. Now, here's another question about that one. If the Peacekeepers are all but dissolved, why do you continue carrying out old orders?
Well, we went back to the city of Guilds, and well, we were before around 8 months ago, we were on another mission to come to Sledora, and then we got sidetracked, and then we got taken underwater by a sea hag. Some temporal displacement happened, and basically we lost 8 months of our lives. So to us, like, it's still that day. We're still trying to carry out that mission. We're still...
Then you traversed into the other planes of existence, then, no?
Not intentionally.
But you
mainly...
did do it.
Yes.
It is no slight. It is no slight at all. You are allowed to travel as you wish. I only ask question.
Mm-hmm.
That is very peculiar. Perhaps we might be able to assist, or perhaps you might be able to assist our scholars in some research about the other planes of existence when you have time, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
If that is the case, do you worship any gods, goddesses, maybe a patron deity, or demons, perhaps?
I do not. No, I do not.
And the final question, do you harbor any ill intent to the Sledora Empire? Are you
no.
any sort of threat?
No, with anything, we're trying to help with the Demon Lord situation.
I deem you fit enough to enter Sledora then.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, have you
Yes.
made contact with your home in the Twisted Wood? Have they been affected by the Titanian incursion?
There was a very brief conversation, but they didn't mention anything particular that I remember. It didn't affect them. They're very small. It's like
very interesting indeed. Well, thank you for your time and your patience. You may leave.
Okay, thank you. No?
Yep. As you leave, she comes out, and you there, Armored One. You're next.
Bye, Armored One.
Oh, this should be interesting.
You are about to enter a zone of truth. If you wish to resist, go for it, but I will know. Do you resist it?
Yeah, my character's not gonna resist it.
Okay. And then the first thing I must ask you to do is please remove your helmets.
I proceed and remove the helmet.
And as she looks at you, right off the bat, I can tell you are Titanian. Is this true?
That would be correct.
Might I ask then what your business in Sledora is, Titanian?
My business is to find the Temple of the Lightbringer, that we may find answers on how to deal with these demon lords and perhaps get rid of them.
Very well. What is your name?
Oswald.
Oswald.
V. Titania.
Ah, so you are a royal family. So this
Unfortunately.
puts... Unfortunately, you say. This is quite curiosity to me. If you are a royal family, but you seem to harbor ill will towards him, might I ask, who do you hold your allegiance to, if not Titania?
I don't have allegiance to a particular country.
Very, very interesting indeed. I will not ask the gist of why you harbor this ill intent for your own people, for your own family, but the Zone of Truth has made it a lot easier to trust one such as yourself, especially being of the royal family here in Sledora. You do understand why I harbor more questions for you than your other comrades?
That would make sense considering the Titanians and how they favor military might.
Yes,
Though
and
if you were to ever ask them, they don't even know I'm alive.
very, very interesting. Your secret is safe with me, Oswald Vitintin, yeah? I will not let your people know. In fact, I will tell you what I told your wizard friends. Perhaps when you all are done with what you have to do with the Temple of the Lightbringer, we could make use of your abilities, especially if you wish to see this Titanian Empire fall. Well,
Perhaps, though our priority is to head back to Ziridel to aid
Citadel.
to aid them, since we have befriended Verkeem on our travels. The Titanians
Yes.
are pressing against them.
You are all quite the curious bunch, I must say. This has been my most, I guess how you would say it, pleasurable investigations thus far. Final, two more questions then, and I will let you go. Do you worship any goddesses, maybe patron deities, or perhaps even demons?
I do not.
And then, do you harbor any ill intent to the Sledora people or its empire?
I do not.
I will let you know this. Even though I believe everything you said, you are still Titanian. And for that, there's just a little bit that I do not trust about you. But I will allow you into Sledora. But I will also be keeping a watchful eye while you are in the capital. Is that understood?
I do understand. And I don't blame you for thinking that way.
At least you understand where others are coming from. This shows that you have very good potential at running a family. Perhaps you would be best to sit on the throne of Titania instead of the rest of your family, but I am not noble or of royal descent, so I could not tell you. But we are done here. Thank you for your time and your patience. You may leave.
Oh, good.
As she comes out, she ends up taking back Abel and Ryu. I'm almost 100% certain that they would answer, as all of you have already answered. So we'll skip that. She takes back all the crew, the members, and as she comes back out, she saves the captain for last, and she comes back out and she are there any other peoples aboard this ship that I must question before we go to starting to check all of your belongings.
Where the
The
fuck
captain-
is Giant Ass? Did
Where
you take
did
him
he
back
go?
there yet?
No,
I
I forgot.
I think we should retcon Inryu and have him do this because I'm really curious how that would turn out.
Okay. Yeah, if Dallas joins, we can retcon when he
He
joins
would
us
definitely be
again.
the one to give her trouble. Come on.
Let's see. He didn't text me back, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think he is Okay. Yeah, so I don't think he's joining us today. She does take Jidus back at some point before the captain and them. And she comes out and she sort of like shakes her head at that point and goes, "He gave me all the answers and then some. It was very good talking to you, madam. What an interesting bunch that you have on your ship here, Captain." And as we go forward just a little bit, she then asks if there's anyone else on board, and Edmund kind of shakes his head and says no, and then she goes, "Well, if you have a current manifest, I will need it, and we will be searching everything on board to make sure that there are not any illegitimate materials or things like that coming into our harbor. There has been, well, there has been a steady flow of items that we are deeming prohibited, for it has been affecting our people negatively. If you have any of them, we will be confiscating them, and you will still be able to go to harbor. Is that understood?" And Edmund shakes his head, yeah. They go through, and as they go underneath the deck, they start to scan around and stuff like that. It takes about an hour and a half for them to go through everything. And when they come back up, the front of the ship, into the cargo hold. Did you know there's a hole there? And Edmund Fisk kind of looks shocked. He's like, a hole? Yes, as a hole. Almost like someone made it recently and tried to climb out.
I look at Giantus.
Jidus looks at you and goes, I didn't do it. I was at the back of the boat. You can ask your friend, the one with the manual. It's very interesting. I will ask one more question then to all of you. What happened on your way to Sledora in the waters? Why is there a hole in your ship? In fact, there are many holes.
Well, you see, we were attacked by a rather large and also numerous small water elementals for some reason.
Mhm.
Huh.
It was very
Interesting.
inconvenient because I couldn't see at the time.
Very interesting. And who summons these water elementals, do you know?
I don't know.
Just, yeah. They just started attacking us.
She kind of, as you say that, Cyrene, she kind of gives you like this sort of glare, as if she doesn't completely trust you. Interesting. Well then, if you were attacked by water elementals, it would make sense why there are holes. I do regret to inform you, though, Captain, that all our materials are essentially sold and being currently used. We will not be able to help you with proper repairs. So, that is quite unfortunate, and hopefully you can understand, but the war requires everything the Sledora Empire has. Since I did not find anything that I must confiscate, you all are allowed to enter the port, and you are allowed to stroll through Sledora at your leisure. During your stay, though, I will go ahead and give you fair warning. If you travel outside of the capital, you are on your own. We will not risk ourselves to save you from any threats. We will not risk our people or any of our munitions of any sorts to try to rescue you. And we certainly will not give you anything if you have not paid for it. Everything, it is taking everything that we have to fight off Baphomet and his Minotaur, as well as his demons. So, Sledora is not typically unfriendly, but right now we are essentially hands tied. So this will not be the best stay of your time. And I apologize first and foremost, for Sledora is a wonderful empire. It is a wonderful people, wonderful cultures. It's just, it's a time of war. We will do everything we can to accommodate your needs if you have the coin for it. Otherwise, it's best to not leave the capital. But, as all of you have told me, that is exactly why you've come here. So just be careful and watch your backs, because no one else will.
Sounds about right.
And as she walks to the gangplank to get back onto the other ship, once you get there, just find an open dock and go ahead and pay your harbor fees, and we will be good. You all have a wonderful day, and do not cause trouble.
Thank you.
And with that, they
Does
cross.
she know yet that your middle name is Trouble?
I'm sorry, he did not say that in his investigation.
It was a joke.
I know, I'm joking too. I'm joking. So they get back onto their ship and they remove the gangplank and start sailing to where they make a U-turn essentially and head towards. What you notice as you guys start picking up speed is that about every half a mile you see a large galleon with cannons armed and ready to roll, all sort of anchored, making this sort of blockade towards the capital of Sledora. And as you guys start to approach her ship, as you guys approach this blockade, you see from her ship a flare shoot up, and it explodes with this sort of green smoke. And with that, the nearest ship to you shoots one up, and it puffs white smoke. Edmund Fisk, as he's sailing away, goes, "Well, it's good that she was telling the truth to us. That green flare just got us passage to Sledora. If it was red, they would probably open fire right now." Ah.
That's reassuring.
Well, obviously she trusts us and her spell. That's good. That is very good. As you guys start to approach, it takes, from this point, it takes a couple hours. It takes about 2 hours for you guys to get to the shore, and well, not the shore, to the harbor of the Sledora Empire. So if you wish to talk amongst yourselves, go for it. Otherwise, we will continue.
Do you think they interrogate all of the boats?
Probably not a few months ago, but recently, yes.
I believe from what she was telling me is they're looking for cultists of Baphomet and some of the other demon lords. From what she was telling, because I asked many a question, essentially cultists have been coming in and sacrificing the people once they land ashore. And they're trying to make do that they do not allow these people back into their home. Or into their empire, rather. Which is very smart.
She let you ask questions?
Of
What
course.
kind of materials were they confiscating?
There were a lot of weird things that she told me, but she didn't go on to great detail. But there are some things that I guess some sort of powdery substance known as unicorn dust. It essentially drives people mad. I don't really know. I've never seen this
Huh.
stuff, but now I'm intrigued.
Interesting.
Who's talking?
Jides.
Okay.
Okay. So, you guys end up pulling into harbor. Let me see. Essentially, you guys pull into the North Dock area right here. So as you do, Edmund Fisk, as the rest of his crew, what's left of it, they start to like tie down the ship and things like that. He comes up to you guys and says, "How long do you think you'll be here? Because obviously you've paid for transportation to and from, so we're not intending on leaving you at all. But if it takes too long, we're losing money."
Oh yes, I honestly have no idea though. We'll keep in touch. If we think it's going to take longer than like a week or so, we'll tell you. Okay.
Very well. We don't mind waiting, of course. And just keep that in mind if that other people have things. We need to make money too.
Yes.
Hey, did we ever tell them why we were going here, or were they informed?
I don't think you told the ship's crew or anything like that. The way it ended up going out, Chuck Norton was able to get you guys passage just because of the amount of money you guys were paying, and they didn't really ask questions.
Okay.
So they have no idea what your intention is here, unless you want to tell them.
Not at the very moment, then.
Yeah.
Okay. So they go ahead and say, well, I guess what we'll end up doing is we'll essentially just stay on board until you guys return. We'll do our best, I guess, to repair the ship so that it's a little easier for us to get back home. And if it does take too long, where can we hope to find you?
We're not quite sure where we're staying. We're still looking around, but probably like the local tavern.
Very well, we will wait in the tavern for you. How about I'll make it my effort to be there for about a 2-hour period. Let's say 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the evening.
Sounds good. Good place to get dinner too.
Exactly. So, yes, I'll visit every day to see if you've made progress, and if it takes too long, well, what do you think the time? How much time will pass before we can deem you all dead? Hypothetically.
Well.
We will probably have more info later.
Yeah.
To meet at the tavern and discuss how long travel will take for us and whatnot.
Hopefully
Very
we're not
well.
gone for another 8-month stint, though.
Yes, that would be quite awful. Because I do not wish to stay here for 8 months.
I'm thinking we will only be here for a week or two at best, but at most. But we'll
Chuck
see.
Norton says that, or he comes up, I think I'll be staying here with them. I don't believe that I would be much of help on whatever journey you are all on. So I wish you the best, and we hope to see you back safely here soon.
All right. You take care. Okay.
2 years later. So as you guys start to more than likely walk off of the ship, Jidas is with you. So, where are we going?
Oh, what?
What do you mean we?
Well, I told you that I would help you, and in turn you'll help me later. Remember, you agreed?
We did?
We did no
Yes!
such thing.
I think that a few days and your mind has all of the sudden drawn blanks. Do you suffer from short-term memory loss there, wizard?
Do you? You seem to ask a lot of questions.
Of course I ask questions. That is the
That's
curiosity.
not what I was asking.
I don't remember making that promise.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you wish me to bugger off?
No.
No, I understand, I guess. Well, it's a little awkward.
I'm not saying bugger off. I'm just. Hey, sure, you can come with us, yeah.
No. I am
No.
obviously not welcome here, and...
No. You'll get into more trouble.
No, actually, I won't. I'd probably get in more trouble with you. But, here's the thing.
He's not wrong.
I,
Do you know how to get to the Temple of the Lightbringer?
Yes, it's north from here. A few days' travel at most.
Then I think you should come with us.
Oh, no. I already have made my decision as of 20 seconds ago. I was gonna come, but not anymore.
I'm sorry for being rude.
Okay.
No, it's perfectly fine.
No.
I just wish to teach you somewhat of a lesson in how to deal with strangers. How about this one?
No, you.
This is
no, I'm
my
sorry.
final... No.
You were right.
Listen.
I was wrong.
Another thing, you shouldn't interrupt a stranger. Although I think that we've come quite acquainted with each other over these past few days at sea. But you never know what a stranger can do for you, so you should try to treat them with respect. And with that, I bid you all adieu. And Cyrene...
Mm-hmm.
He goes up to whisper in your ear. If anyone wishes to try to hear what he says, you may roll perception now.
I'm good.
Okay, no one wants to. That ball of light, or that stream of lightning that you saw take out your former flame, as you used to call him, that was me. I'm sorry you couldn't return the favor to help save my life as I have saved yours, but maybe in the future you'll come to your senses. I wish all of you the happiest of a journey.
That was...
Oh my god.
And as he does that, he starts to walk away.
Excuse me, Jidas.
He waves his hand and goes, "Ah, you sir!" and starts running towards some random commoner near the docks and starts talking to them.
Alright. Let's go. I'm sure we'll see him again.
You have anything important to say, Cyrene?
As
That
you're
doesn't
about to say
compute.
something, he looks back at you and he shakes his head no.
Nope.
I mean, if it's personal, it's okay. I'm just concerned.
It truly is a shame that we couldn't have someone as lucky as Jidas come with us. We could have had great use of his resourcefulness and
We'll see you again,
General.
Jidas.
good positivity.
So the current state of this location that you're at, you notice that a lot of people, if not every single person, is currently doing something. If they're not repairing ships, they're making food for the people that are. If they're not doing that, they're making other materials and things like that. Some people are fletching arrows. Some people are making horseshoes and stuff like that. Everybody's busy.
Shall we be off?
Yeah, so at this point, what does the party wish to do?
We could walk north.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's
think
start
Gidas
walking.
was lying.
Yeah. Let's start walking north.
We should probably
Or
Go
ask for
to the
directions.
local
What are you gonna do?
tavern.
Tell us to look for
Yeah. Let's go to the
rations?
local tavern for this, but just check in there.
we should probably see if we can get more clear instructions on how to get to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you guys are looking for the tavern, go ahead and roll me investigation checks, everybody.
How is that possible?
Oh, it's not even possible.
Okay. So as you guys are walking, Mirrodin's like, we should go that way. And Lacan goes, no, 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 no. It's basic city structure that the tavern's probably in the most central location. So you guys head towards this
Idiot.
spot right here, conveniently next to the city well. And you see a place called the Staggering Glass. And it does look as if it's a tavern. You see a couple people coming and going. There aren't a lot of patrons, and currently it's probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Let's go up into the tavern and go to the barkeep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys walk inside, there's not a whole lot of people here. You do see a few young men that are dressed as soldiers, essentially. So they have, chainmail and they have pikes with them, and they're currently enjoying a nice plate of hot food. From what you can tell, it looks like some sort of burger, essentially, with a tart and a tankard of some sort of ale.
Okay.
And you see behind the bar area, you see a barkeeper cleaning glasses as they always do.
Well, let me go up to the barkeep.
How you doing? What do you want?
Hey, hello, good sir. Can I get me a drink?
Yeah, sure. You want a tankard of beer or a tankard of Perry?
The second one.
All right, that one's a little bit more feminine. That's a fine choice.
How much?
He reaches down and he pulls out this pink bottle and starts to pour it, and he throws it your way. 2 gold.
Okay. I give him 2 gold, and I deduct it from my sheet.
He puts the 2 gold in a pouch on his belt. What else can I get for you?
Could you also give me directions?
Yeah, 2 gold.
Oh, two gold.
Yep, 2 gold for directions.
I didn't even ask where I'm going though.
Yeah, you don't need to. I know where you're trying to go.
And where would that be?
Just give me 2 gold, give you direction, boy.
Okay, I give him 2 more gold.
That way's north, that way's south, and east and west. Thank you for your patronage.
Do you know where the Temple of the Lightbringer is?
Yeah, 2 gold, and I know where it's at.
I hand the man 2 more gold.
All right.
Don't do it.
Temple of Lightbringer's north.
Okay, I drink my drink and I thank him for his patronage, and I leave.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
You
No,
just
thank
made me
you.
more money than I made all month.
And I leave.
Y'all come back out here.
I'll buy some booze.
All right, what you drinking? You want a tankard of bitter or a tankard of Perry? Bitter. Okay, 2 gold.
All right, good sir. 2 gold it is.
And he pops
Can I have
out.
some of that pink stuff?
Oh yeah,
2
2 gold. Actually, for the lovely lady, how about 1 gold?
Oh, thank you, sir. I actually have some
Oh.
questions.
Oh yeah, 2 gold per question.
Okay. Can you direct us where we can potentially rent like a cart and some horses?
Well, unfortunately, there's plenty of places where you used to get stuff. But now, because of the war, good luck. There is a stable at the north gate. You might be able to entice them, something like that. But I highly doubt it.
Okay. And then I slide another 2 over to him and I say, is there any way you can write down directions for us to get to the Temple of the Lightbringer or give us a map of some sort?
Oh, you want a map? That's a lot easier to do. Hold on one second. And
Okay.
he goes underneath the bar and he pulls out a blank piece of parchment. And he go, all right, you're here, where the X is, right there, convenient. You go up north, and right there is somewhere north of here, and that's the temple. That's the best
How
I can
far?
describe it.
And is there anything we need to worry or look at or know about?
Oh,
on the
yeah.
way?
For 2 gold, I'll tell you exactly what you gotta worry about.
2 gold it is.
You hand him 2 more gold. You gotta worry about all manner of creature now. Not only do you gotta worry about boar and cheetahs and other things that roam around bear, but you gotta worry about minotaurs. Minotaurs are currently trying to kill everybody. And there's one big ass minotaur, he's about this fucking big. And he outstretches his arms like huge. They call him Baphomet, and he's been going around up north somewhere, like killing everybody, so I'll be careful for him. You see him, I'd probably hightail it back.
Okay. And then on this map, how far away is the Temple of the Lightbringers? Are we talking
It's
like...
about probably at least 1,000 of these lines right here, but I don't know exact specifications. I'm not much of the geographically
But we're
kinda-
talking like at least
savvy.
2 days?
Oh yeah, give or take. Especially, well, you're gonna be on foot now, unless you somehow able to get horses, but I highly doubt it. On foot, probably take you about 3, 4.
Okay. Thank you,
Your
good
friend
sir.
want another drink? You look thirsty. He looks at you, Mirrodin.
You know me all too well, my
He
friend.
does not want any more.
I'll give you the whole bottle for 10 gold.
Done.
All right. He pulls out a fresh bottle and hands it to you, and as you drank your first one, roll a perception check. That shit's good. It's real good. You don't know what the hell's in it, but it's delicious.
Finally, some good fucking booze.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. How about this? I'll give you a second bottle for 5 additional gold.
Oh my god.
God.
I step in and I say, no, stop, no more.
You cannot be drunk the entire time we're on the way to Temple.
If you attempt to take the bottles from this man during transaction, I will deem it thievery, and I will get them gods
The
over there.
transaction hasn't gone through yet.
It is about
I've
to.
already paid my
It's
5
not
gold.
thievery if it's still yours.
Excuse me, guards. I think we got a little bit of a trouble makeover here. They kind of look
take Mirrodin
over at
away.
you as they're
No, just
eating.
I am trying to make a transaction. I am a paying customer, and you cannot take that away from this man.
Walk away.
And that's what I thought. Sorry,
Thank you,
boy, it
sir,
ain't
for all
nothing
the help.
personal. It's just business, and you're getting in the way of it. Here you go, boy. And he hands Mirrodin a brand new bottle, 2 brand new bottles for 15 gold of extremely delicious booze.
Thank you, sir, for all your help. We appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. The name's Manfred. Come back
Manfred.
anytime. Except for, I don't really like your friend there. You should get better company.
What was this
I
place
get
called?
it.
The staggering.
The staggering glass.
Staggering glass?
Yeah, the staggering.
Okay.
How about your armor friend? He want anything? Perhaps a water for 1 gold?
No, I'm good. No thank you.
Are you? You look like it's mighty heavy stuff. Probably a little hot. I bet you want to wet your lips.
I'll have to pass for now.
Okay, best water in town, tell you what. Well, don't make yourself strangers now. I
I'm
look
sure I'll see
forward to
you
dealing
again.
with you all again. He picks up a
Thank you,
glass and
Manfred.
starts to clean it. And as you guys leave, one of the soldiers kind of follows behind you and goes, "Did I hear you right? You're going north to the Temple of Lightbringer."
Oh, yeah.
Attempting to.
Might I suggest that you don't?
Oh, enlighten us, please.
Well, currently the front lines are up there, and tell you right now, it's not a place you really want to go and visit.
Front lines to what exactly?
The war,
Yeah, the war with the Minotaurs. So, where
obviously.
are you from?
Do you not know what front lines are?
I ignore Mirrodin. Not from
I
around
know what
here.
front lines are.
At least your
It's
friend's
okay,
got
Mirrodin.
quite the insight. I think you should listen to him. But if you don't take my word for it, well, best of luck to you. I just wanted, if I could save a life, might as well try.
I'm just curious. And no offense.
Oh, none taken. It's your life, not mine.
Is there any way to go around?
I'm sure you could go by sea, but that's its own
Absolutely
endeavor.
not.
Just be careful. Once you get past a certain radius of the capital, that it's all essentially on your own. You don't have anyone watching your back, and the Minotaurs have been gaining ground by the day.
Mm.
Well,
Do you
best of luck
perhaps
to you.
have better
Um,
directions for us besides that barkeep that wanted gold for every basic question?
I don't want your gold, but essentially, it's an entire radius. He pulls out sort of a not super good world map, but decent enough for him to explain this part to you. So if you go up to the top left portion of Sledora, he draws kind of a circle around it. Anything past that line, you're on your own. No Sledorian will be able to help you. The Minotaurs have us boxed in, essentially. And they've been using their influence to send people from the sea, which is probably why I'm sure you met Oksana, correct?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful woman. He kind of says with a, you can tell it's like sarcastic tone. Regardless, just if you can stay near the shore, maybe. I don't know if Minotaurs can swim, but obviously there's other denizens of the sea that'll probably eat you up. It's just gonna be a very dangerous few days for you.
Sounds about right. On the map, the X, is that where the temple?
The X. Oh, you're talking
Above
this.
Sledora.
Hold on. This thing right here?
Yeah.
No, that is the farm. You guys are heading here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From what Lacan was able to get from, forget who exactly you asked, but they pointed you to this location. The Forgotten Ruins is what they call it.
So if we hug the shore, we should be okay.
That sounds like a great way to be attacked by both Minotaurs and Dagon.
Hmm. You got a better plan?
Nope. Hug the shore it is.
Okay. Real quick, let's go ahead and take 5 for a bio break. 'Cause I got to go. I'll be right back.
Well, seems that every time I speak, I'm being influenced not to.
Oh, by the way, Jeff, half the time I don't talk, it's either because A, my character's not interested, therefore I'm just not saying anything, or I'm trying to not interrupt y'all if y'all are already like in the
No,
middle of
you're
something.
good. No, you're good.
A lot of the time I'm not talking is because I'm laughing my ass off at what's currently happening.
Dude, same.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, rather than saying like my character's not interested, I'd rather just like show it by having that like pause that like I don't care because I'm not talking. Like with Jidus earlier when like I just literally was not responding to him.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I was thinking of talking to the barkeep, except until I realized that he would answer the question as minimal as possible and then charge 2 gold each time. At that point, I was like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Lovely.
I got some good ass booze.
Now Mirrodin's gonna be drunk like the entire time we're traveling.
Mirrodin hasn't had good booze for in the common timeline 8
Hey.
months.
All he has to do is cast Eldritch Blast. He doesn't need to be sober to do that.
Or able to see.
Ouch.
That should be a thing. Eldritch Blast, bonus action. Take a swing. Or swig, whatever it's called.
I'll be right back as well.
Oh, you'll be right back, alright.
Every time you go AFK, 2 gold.
Well, there'd be a couple people in the party that would be in the negative.
Oh yeah.
So is that like 2 gold per minute, or 2 gold for an extended period of time that you're AFK? This is very important.
It is very
well,
important.
You gotta remember to include interest.
Yup. Alright. While Jeff's AFK, is there anywhere else in Sledora that you want to check out first?
I'm hoping to see if maybe there's a place we can rent like a cart or some horses or something to make the
Sneak
travel
off to go find a
faster.
brothel. I don't actually do that.
I was gonna say, if you want to. Okay. So, like the man told you, obviously you go out the north gate in order to get anywhere, or get out of the capital to where you're trying to go. And you do see the stables next to it, and you see a couple damaged carts. As you're looking at them, there's mighty big gashes in them. Lacan, you can tell for sure because of your distinct knowledge of weaponry and stuff from your people that it's great axes, but these great axes are almost double the size. Like the gash size is double the size of what a normal sized human would probably be capable of. And you do see a couple of people out there with wooden planks and steel pythons and stuff like that repairing the axles and the other parts of the carts. And there is currently a man tending to a couple of the horses that they look like they're spooked right now, as if they've just seen some shit. There are currently 4 people in front of you for you to talk to, Cyrene.
Okay. Excuse me.
Hello. How may I be of assistance to you?
Hi. I was wondering if there were any horses we might be able to rent.
Not unless you're ready to pay a fortune.
How much?
Well, is it for the lot of you? Each of you need a horse?
I mean, do the horses look sturdy? Like, is there any way we can double up or no?
Oh, I'm sure it could double up with a couple of you. Maybe not him. He points to Lacan.
Okay.
And Ryu comes up. I can float.
So.
It's like quite the accent you got there, Enryu.
That's me. I'm just joking. Dallas is gay, so. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Well, if you
So,
wanted
like,
to,
4
I could
horses?
rent you 1,000 gold per horse.
Oh my. Wowza.
Meredith starts choking.
I normally don't charge that much, but you gotta understand that these horses are meant for the war effort, and if I go giving them to you, I need to make sure that I'm properly compensated, because right now it's kind of illegal
What's illegal?
to give you any sort of wares that we have or services.
Oh.
Currently, everything in the city, aside from food and drink, are essentially owned by the military. And if we go giving them away, well, we're essentially committing treason. And I won't do it for any less than 1,000 each horse.
Gotcha. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, thank you. It's very informative.
I do apologize. Hopefully this war's done sooner, but, well, it's been quite a while already. I don't foresee it ending anytime.
Understandable. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, and best of luck. I don't advise traveling on foot.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back to cleaning the stables and stuff like that.
All right, team.
We should probably head back to the pier and let them know how long it will take to travel to the temple.
That makes sense.
Okay. So you head back, and you notice that the crew's just kind of hanging out, doing their thing on board the ship. It looks like they've already found a good bit of food, and they all have a couple bottles of the same booze that Mirrodin has. Ah, you're back already, so we can head home?
No.
It
Oh.
appears it will take roughly 3 to 4 days for us to head to the temple up north. How long we'll be there, we still do not know. But that means
And then
a
at
minimum
least
of...
another 3 to 4.
Correct. Roughly 7 to 8 days of travel alone.
So, what do you think is a fair estimate to let us go about getting back to what we need to do? You think 2.5 weeks is enough time?
Possibly.
Very fair. Alright, if we don't see you back in about 2.5 weeks, then, we'll head back to the City of Guilds and inform Edmund kind of looks over at Chuck Norton, goes, maybe that gentleman Saris cares?
Yeah. Yeah, let Saris know that we didn't come back. Maybe not
Very well.
necessarily that we're dead, but, because we might not be.
Very well. Well, yeah, well, I guess starting tomorrow, we'll give you 2.5 weeks then before we sail off. Good luck to you out there. From
Thank
what we
you.
heard, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah. You guys stay safe here, too.
Oh, yeah. Worst case scenario, if a city comes under siege, we'll have to leave you, unfortunately, but I reckon we got a shot.
Well,
Chuck Norton kind of shrugs and goes, maybe.
should the time pass and you begin making your way back, or, as you said, should the city come to siege, if you could travel northward along the shoreline first, towards the temple, perhaps you may spot us. We are going to try to not necessarily be on the shoreline, but not far from it either.
Very well. How about this? He pulls out, he goes into his captain quarters and comes back, and he pulls out this sort of like red flag. I'll put this at the top of the mast if we do end up sailing, and we can make a long trip up north before we turn back around to head back to the City of Guilds when we leave, just in case we see you. I think that's pretty fair, especially considering you all saved our lives out there a couple days ago.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Very well. They all kind of give you a head nod, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's the time of day?
I'd say at this point it's probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So I'm guessing we already had our long rest last night. Still.
Yeah, you guys are
putting
up
down
and
to do
running.
whatever? Okay. Well, unless we have any errands or preparations that y'all need to make, we may as well get going sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'm ready to go now.
Agreed.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
by the way,
what's up?
I know Inryu actually, he is interested in having his weapon modified.
Yes.
So, you know what? Do you want to do it for him, right, or do you want him to be back to make that final decision?
Probably be best for him to be back, just considering the location that you guys are at when you go to ask the blacksmith for materials. I don't know if he wants to spend that now or if he wants to spend that money later.
We'll just do it later then.
Okay, yeah. Best to make those decisions when they're here. So, if
we
necessary,
spent
we'll
500 gold for you.
yeah.
Of your gold.
So yeah, if necessary, we can retcon it. And if we do retcon it, it'll probably change like the time of day and stuff like that a little bit, depending on what exactly he's wanting and what type of materials or how much it costs. So, but for now, as you guys start to leave the docking area, and you head out the north gate and start traveling along the road north, go ahead and roll me perception checks for your first little bit on the road.
Percepciones. Blech.
Okay. So Alfric, as you guys are walking, all of you notice that there's a smell of blood in the air. Alfric, what you can tell, or what you can see specifically, is like as you guys are looking around the road, you can see where various places of combat have taken place off the road, even, this close to the Empire itself, which leads you to believe that there's really no place, even maybe the inside the gates of the Empire is probably the safest place. So at this point in time, you guys definitely need to watch your backs, is what you get from all of that. Other than that, the pure chaos. Mirrodin, with the lowest roll, describe something that you see as you're walking along this road to complement what I have said.
As Mirrodin walks along this road, he spies a particular bunch of wilted flowers that seem to be covered in just this spattering of blood. It's a beautiful sight. The blood reds sort of contrasting with the light blues of these flower petals.
That is wonderful. Solid. As you guys are going, about a couple miles into your journey, you come up to a bunch of tents. Currently, you can see a little campfire and probably 30 soldiers or so sort of nested around the tents and stuff. And as you guys are sort of walking past, a couple of them are like eating from these little bowls, and they're kind of watching you. And you notice that the look in their eyes, you can tell that they've seen something terrible. They just have this like blank stare, almost like they fear just being alive currently. They don't stop you or anything, probably because they've tried to stop countless others and failed. And they just watch as you guys go. One of them goes, "Y'all gonna die over there."
Do you know a better way of going north? Or just not going north, is that the best way?
That is the best way. Just don't.
Well, we unfortunately have to.
Well, good luck to you. Whoever sent you up north just gave you a suicide mission.
That it might be.
Fantastic.
As you guys are walking up further, you've started to notice that there's starting to be a lot more people that you're coming into contact with. Some of them are traveling back south, and when they are, they're typically they're either carrying with like stretchers injured, or with carts, like piles of bodies.
This is
Some
coming
of
from where
them,
we're...
yeah, coming from the north.
Okay.
One of these carts, you can see as the cart passes you guys, you just see that it's constantly dripping with blood. There's a whole trail leading that you guys are essentially following at this point back up towards the north. You look a little bit closer at the bodies, and Lacan, this kind of makes you a little weary as you're looking, but a lot of the helmets are bashed in to the point where you can see pieces of the flesh like oozing out of the various holes that a helmet would have for you to breathe through and stuff like that.
That's some unnecessary foreshadowing for me there.
I'm just saying because you're the only one that actually wears a helmet and stuff.
No, yeah, no, I get you.
Let's see.
Lacan lower. He's gonna look towards Alfric.
Yes.
Watching Alfric.
And you do see him mutter something under his breath. And you see him holding that belt buckle while he does it.
That was all. Just watching.
Okay. As you guys continue more, at this point, you've gone probably about 12 miles or so, and it's starting to get dark. Do you wish to press forward or start thinking about making camp?
I think we should do that tent thing.
You want the, okay, tiny hut?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Well, if we find a good spot, if this is it, I mean, we can, but Is this where we're okay?
As you're looking around, with what little light you have left, you don't see anybody for as far as you guys can see, especially you without dark vision. But it's pretty open. You do know, or at least, yeah, y'all should know like the general geographic location that you're in is mostly plains, with like maybe like bushes, a bunch of bushes and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of trees here and there. But there are some seldomly spread out throughout this the plains. They do call these like the Great Plains and stuff like that of the Horse Lords. So you can see probably about half a mile around you, those with dark vision, before it just becomes too dark to see.
How
So,
tiny is the tiny hut? Like, are we able to hide it behind a bush? Thing?
It's kind of big.
yeah. But it takes on the color of something nearby, rather, it takes on the color of whatever Jeff wants it to be. So he could do some like sort of trying to camouflage it near
Yeah.
one of these trees or something like that.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me perception check. Those of you without dark vision, do it at disadvantage. Okay. Cyrene, you're able to actually see a fairly large boulder, a couple, like maybe 30 feet off of the road, more inland, so to the west of this road.
Okay. Boulder ho!
The boulder wakes up and goes, "I ain't no skank." I'm just joking.
I think that would be a good location to put the tiny hut.
All right. And I start summoning it.
Okay. So during your summon, as the 10 minutes go by, the rest of you, I guess, are doing whatever it is you do in this 10 minutes. But the one thing you guys notice is that probably, I don't know, a couple hundred feet north, so maybe 300 feet, you start to see these lights. They look like really large torches. Just from what you gauge is the size of them and the distance that you think they are away. And they essentially sort of start to take over the horizon to where you can relatively guess that there is somebody currently over there. Probably a large group of people, as there's, I'd say probably you see about 20 of these lights start to make their presence known.
That's probably not good.
I suggest we get in the hut as quickly as possible.
Okay. I get in the hut, and then I have an idea. Yeah, I want to minor illusion around the hut as much as possible to make it look like we're more blended in with the natural surroundings around us.
Okay. Unfortunately, though, with minor illusion, I don't think within range. I don't think tiny hut lets you affect things from the inside,
Okay.
and you can't leave.
Okay, then I won't do it then.
Yeah. The rest of the group, if they have something they wish to do, you could speak to them and be like, "Yo, can you guys do anything?"
Nah, I got nothing. So I know they can't.
Okay. You guys are roughly right here. The fork, or the road kind of forks to go sort of north, and you're seeing the lights coming from a little bit north of where you're at. So as you guys all pile in the hut, you hear and it starts to get a little louder and louder. Go ahead and roll perception check for sound to see if you can tell what this is, what this noise is that you hear. Okay. Cyrene, as you guys are all listening to this sort of pounding noise that you're hearing from the distance, as it gets closer and closer, you being more in tune with animals than anybody else, you can tell that these are hooves heading this way.
Okay, and I relay that to the team.
Okay. They're starting to get closer and closer. And at this point, they're loud enough to where everybody can hear them. And which side of the rock did you put your tiny hut?
I don't even. I
North,
didn't.
south, east, west?
I want it so the morning sun hits us when we wake up.
Okay, so on the
So,
west side of it. So as you
yeah.
guys are looking out, you see these torches coming forward, and you see this large group of horses, probably about 30 horses or so, just running straight past you guys, and they're all shouting and stuff like, "Hurry, get out of here, go, go, go!" And you hear people like falling and stuff like that. As a couple of these horses get closer to you guys, um, you see a light come from the north, uh, and then it catches up with the group and explodes. Y'all know this as fireball. A fireball explodes, and you hear the shouts of probably about half of these people. No, not that many. Probably like 5 to 6 people just got hit in the blast radius of this fireball and fall over. Their horses start screaming. The people start screaming. A couple of them are dead outright from the blast. And you start to hear these hoof sounds come from the north. And as they do,
Now,
what do you
these
guys do?
people that the how far away are they? At least the ones that fell off or got knocked off and whatnot. From
They're
our
probably about 50 feet away from you guys, while the rest of the people are just now passing your tiny hut. And those people are probably like 10 to 15 feet, random distances as they're galloping past you.
Alfred, how many people can be in this tiny hut?
Uh, um, quite a few.
But it wouldn't matter if they can fit in here because they would just surround us.
Yeah. Also, they had to get permission to enter, which I haven't given them.
Do these people look like they come from the capital? Like they're retreating
Yes.
back to the capital?
Correct.
Let me look
I
up
suggest we
things.
kind of do the same thing.
For some reason, my thing closed. Give me a second.
Is it? I don't remember that. I don't use tiny hut. Is it? Do we know when we're near the edge of tiny hut?
You'll see it.
Yeah,
so
you
that-
see it.
yeah.
You see the whole like radius that it encompasses. So you know exactly how far away and stuff like that.
So if I'm at the edge, though, these guys are still, like you said, 40, 50 feet out there?
Yeah.
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 Mm.
And they were running through a couple of the bushes and the trees that are in this area.
Does either one of you, Alfred or Mirden, do y'all know how to make one unseeable?
Oh yeah, sure, I do that all the time.
I cannot.
Is that a request?
If you're willing and able to.
I am both willing and able to. Anyone else?
I'll take some invisibility. Why not?
Cool. Mirrodin reaches out and touches both Lacan and Cyrene, and all three of them go invisible due to the 4th level spell slot invisibility.
Alrighty. So, let me get the radius out so you know exactly where Tiny Hut is, because it's 10 feet. Wah.
I see why you want to know so much about the rock.
Yes. I need to know about the rock. So what you can see is about 50 feet away from you. You see a couple soldiers that are lying that just got hit with a fireball. And you can hear rustling coming from the bushes up to the north. But you can't see anything yet.
Alright, well, I'm going to... I guess we're moving freely right now, no initiative or anything.
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll do this that way we know, since 3 of you
Like
are
usual,
invisible.
because I'm always rolling 6 or lower.
Facts.
Not even exaggerating, 90% of the time I'm below 6.
They are here. They just won't be as useful as normal. Okay, so Alfric, do you do anything or do you just stay into the tiny hut?
Can I hold an action?
Sure.
Does that be
Speaking of holding an action, I looked it up for people with multiple attacks, and I don't know where Eldritch Blast is. It in the spell itself that Eldritch Blast says at certain levels you get multiple castings of it?
It's not multiple casting, it's just that I have multiple rays.
Oh, multiple rays
Yeah, it's just
as it levels up.
it's basically
Oh, okay, it's
as
not two
opposed
separate
to
attacks, it's one attack. I see. I
yeah,
see now.
it's
Cool.
just a single spell casting.
Cool. Yeah, so then we did it right. Whenever, since you shoot 2 beams, it's like it's 2 attacks without you taking 2 attacks. Kind of like how a fighter, they get an extra attack. You just get the 1 spell, but it counts twice. Cool. Because yeah, if it was when you take the attack action, you're essentially taking the ready action, not that. But for you, you're good. Anyone else with the extra attack feature, if you hold your attack, you only get 1 of them. Alright, so what do you hold your action for? Alfric.
The belt.
Oh.
The hawk?
But
Another one.
nothing. The nothing.
Another one.
Yeah.
It's a secret. It's a secret hold.
Alright, so, yeah. With that then, Cyrene?
Well, I'm assuming since we're invisible that we can exit the hut and no one will see us. So I'm gonna get out of the hut and
You made Lacan, Cyrene, and who else invisible?
Myself.
Yourself.
Because I
Good
forgot that
choices.
Abel and Ryu exist.
Oh, you're good.
harsh. And I guess since I don't have that much feet, I'll go here.
Okay, so you go behind the rock and you
Yeah.
watch. From there, you can see the horses galloping as fast as they can away from you guys. And Ryu will draw his weapon and kind of just be like, "What's the plan, guys? Where did half of you go?" And then hold his action for probably nothing. Mirrodin, your turn.
I starts. So which direction were they going?
They were heading like straight south.
Okay. You know what? I like Cyrene's idea. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna stay in the bubble.
All right.
You like my idea, but you're staying in the bubble?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Abel draws his weapon and goes, I can't see their fire. I cannot act. I will wait. Lacan.
Eerie.
Alright. I'm going to move here. No. Move up to here. Now. No, wait. No, I don't want to go. Yeah, that's fine. I'll be there.
Okay. So as you guys do that, the soldiers are currently on the ground. Like, you can see that they're severely wounded. Two of the horses were able to make it away and run off. You could tell that they were hit by the fireball, but they just barely made it out. But two more horses, we'll say this guy right here has a horse that's kind of like toppled onto his legs. So I'll put the little snail there to show. And then the guy over here also has a dead horse, but only one leg or his arm is caught, and he's trying to get out. You can hear rustling coming from the bushes up north. Alfred, you still do the same thing?
Yep.
All right, Cyrene?
I will hold my action
All right.
and my movement. I'm good.
All right, and then Mirrodin?
I shall utilize the power of feet to move henceforth this direction and in this direction.
Okay. And Lacan?
Alright, I'm going to approach this guy right here. Tell him, look, don't panic, keep quiet. I'm gonna try to help you get out of here.
And he kind of just looks around. He's like, okay.
Now, I'm gonna try to help him up. Does he look like he can be helped up, or would I have to like...
Yeah, he's not
check
like, he's not fucked up enough to where he can't move and stuff on his own, but he probably needs a little bit of assistance.
Alright. With the dash action, I'm gonna go behind this... with him behind this rock over here.
Alright. At the end, if any of you can read what I typed, or if you just see the italicized speech, then
Yeah,
that's
the
all you
description.
hear. You hear the description, you hear words being said from beyond this bush. They're probably within 100 feet of you at this point. Top of the round again, Alfric. Same thing. Muted. A muted boy.
Oh yeah, I'm typing. Let me see. Yeah, that's all I do. Yep.
Okay. Cyrene, anything different?
I'll probably just scoot over a little bit so I can rock.
Okay. So you peer behind the rock and you can see can you see? I don't think you have. It's dark now. You can see up to here, technically.
Okay.
I didn't put dynamic lighting because it's not going to be super necessary. Mirrodin?
Where did I hear sounds coming from?
Straight north of you, like in this general vicinity. You hear one very low-pitched, strong voice.
Okay.
And the speech that you hear is awfully familiar to what you heard Dagon's servants saying.
You know, you didn't really have to tell me that. I was like, man, I wonder I'm gonna try to go ahead and take cover behind this fairly large-looking rock.
Okay, yeah. It's about like 4 feet tall. So you're able to kind of duck
Okay.
behind it easy enough.
Yeah, that makes me feel good.
Yeah. And as you do get there, roll a perception check for me.
I'm getting better and better at these perception checks, dude.
As you peek over the corner, you start to see coming out of the bushes a minotaur. And he's walking straight towards where the fireball impacted. Currently, he's got a great axe, and he looks fairly fresh. Lacan. Cool.
See, I'm gonna take this guy and just keep going south with him, hiding like in between these trees.
All right. As you hear this speech, Mirrodin, you see another one coming out of the bushes, and then you see one more that has a dull red glow coming off of him. Almost like he's shrouded in fire.
Okay.
And with that, you hear that this is the one that's saying stuff in that low like speech, and he points the other two towards that group while he starts making his way south. And now, top of the round, we're essentially in combat at this point, just because the Minotaurs are engaging on who you're trying to rescue and stuff like that. Does Alfric do anything different?
Oh no, sorry, no. I can't even see them, can I?
In theory, I'll say that you can see a dull red aura around this guy, but you don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, I just did the same thing.
Okay. Cyrene?
I'm gonna circle back around the boulder and like around the hut,
Alright.
but I don't think I can go that far. So
You can take the dash action.
I mean, I could, but I think I'm actually good there.
Okay.
So I'm protected by the hut and the boulder for now.
And Ryu gets his whatever weapon he decides to actually use this time, and he kind of looks at Alfric and goes, "Do you know what are we doing right now?"
I see a light in the distance and I cast a fireball recently. I think Lacan went out to go rescue some of the people that are being attacked. I don't know. So we're just waiting. There's something out there I can see in the distance. I don't know what it is. Just sit tight.
I'll wait then. And he waits. Mirrodin?
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do me some running.
Okay. Roll stealth for me
Okay.
against their passive perception. Ooga bro. And he points
Do I-
directly
do I
at
get-
each
do I
footstep
get-
that you make.
Do I get advantage because I'm invisible?
I don't think, in theory, sure.
I am invisible. Yeah.
Yeah. He says exactly something and points at your footsteps, and he turns his direction to meet yours.
I shall henceforth use my bonus action to use my racial ability, which is not a spell, to teleport here.
Okay. Abel will look at Ryu and Alfric and just be like, say the word and I'm out there. This Minotaur walks up. You see his hand start to glow, and he shoots off fireball right about where you were at, and it explodes. You guys can see that, right?
Yeah.
The little fireball
Yeah.
radius.
Yeah, it looks a little different than usual, but yeah.
I found tokens.
Oh, fancy.
So he casts the fireball and it explodes, and as it goes away, he doesn't see anything lying there, and he starts sniffing the air, and he says something in the language that you guys don't know what he's saying, and then he turns back to facing these guys as they're all lying there. These Minotaurs will use their action to dash, since they don't see any notable threats. And now it is Lacan's turn.
Now, since I'm invisible, am I like see-through?
Yes.
In other words, if I was in front of the guy, you'd see through me and see the guy?
Correct.
Okay, so, Well, I'm gonna tell the guy okay, I can only help you this far. Keep low, keep quiet, keep heading south.
I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. And he stands up and starts to very quietly, with an actual really good stealth roll, make his way. Oh, wrong button. Damn. Oh. There we go. He starts heading down, and the Minotaurs don't seem to notice any rustling in the bushes, so we'll go ahead and say that he has exited the fray. You may still use your movement and actions and such.
Alright, well, I'm gonna take my time, but I'll go up to this tree right here.
Okay.
And then, let's see, yeah, that'll be it for now.
Alright. These guys are still trying to get up. This guy is essentially knocked out from what you can tell, as he's not moving or anything like that. But I don't even think y'all can see. But the guy, you can hear the grunting as these guys try to get these horses off of them, and they can't. Alfric.
I hold my action.
Okay. Cyrene.
I am going to dash to the tree.
Alright. As you dash, go ahead and give me stealth check with advantage. Okay. As you start dashing and get to the tree, you barely touch one of the leaves. And Mirrodin, you can see the Minotaur that's caught, like, got this aura of flame, peers that way. He starts looking to that tree, curiously. And Ryu will still hold his movement and action, or not his movement, rather, his action. Mirrodin?
I'll make my way back to the tiny Boo Bell.
Alright. Abel holds his action. This fiery Minotaur will take the dash action as he starts running towards these soldiers, but he keeps an eye steadily on this bush. And Cyrene, you, I think, can see him. Yeah, you can see him now because of your dark vision, and you can see that he's looking in your direction. This guy walks over, and he takes his great axe and is able to dispatch this gentleman, killing the horse in the same blow, if it wasn't already dead. This guy critically misses, so yeah. So it's kind of funny as you guys watch him try to... Oh wait, no, he's got advantage because he's prone and knocked out. He does not critically miss. And he deals enough damage to kill this guy. Lacan?
Do these guys scream as they die?
The one that had the horse on top of him does, and the other one was unconscious from the fall. And you do not hear a scream. More kind of like a. Ugh! But yeah, you can hear one of them scream as he dies.
Too late to save the others.
Yeah.
And I'm going to... Can I hold a dash action?
You can.
Alright, I'll hold the dash action if we get approached too closely.
Okie dokie. Alfric? Muted ass, I'll assume, is doing nothing.
Yeah. I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not here.
Or-
I'm
yeah,
not
but-
here. I'm not here right now.
Cyrene?
I am going to I'm assuming the Minotaurs can see the tent, or are they? Do they
They don't
not know
seem
it's
to
there
care
yet?
about it right now.
Okay.
And as you do look at it, it's the exact same shade of gray as that other rock. It's just more... It's more of a fine spherical shape than the sort of jagged rockiness. Because I don't think in Tiny Hut, the only thing you can literally change is the color. You can't change its texture.
Yeah. Just
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they don't seem to have noticed it. That's not really their... They're not here to sightsee, from what you can gather.
Okay. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? No. No. Is the entrance like where Alfric is standing, or is it like? Where-
Pretty sure it doesn't truly
here.
matter. I feel like you can just enter it
Yeah. From any
unless
angle.
that.
From
yeah, that's what I
wherever?
was. Yeah,
Okay.
as long as he allows you to do it. So he could right now be like, Cyrene's not allowed. No girls allowed.
No cooties. They're icky.
Rude. Okay. I tell Lacan I'm going back to the tent. And then, or well, I don't know he's there though, do I? Because he's invisible.
No,
or
he.
can invisible
he
people
said
see each
something.
other?
You can't
Okay.
see each other, but he said something to you. At least I'm assuming he said that out loud. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So you
I
know
tell
he's there.
Lacan I'm going back to the tent. So
Take your time. Don't make noise.
okay. Circle around and dash.
Okay, roll stealth with advantage against their passive perception. Double nat ones, let's see it!
Shut up.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Yeah, sure, I'll be quiet. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
All the minotaurs look down towards the hut.
Fuck.
And Ryu gets his weapon ready as he. Actually, I don't think he has dark vision, but he can see this like faint red aura. All of you can see it, and at this point, you can see like the facial structures of a minotaur with like glowing red horns and stuff, and you can see it sort of turn to look, and it kind of like squints its eyes a little bit to try to make out what the hell it heard just now. Mirrodin, anything?
Just move here. That's it.
Okay. Abel will hold his action. This Minotaur, you see his hand glow red, and he shoots another fireball right above, or right where that dome is, like right above it, and it explodes. But he doesn't hear anything like shouting or anything like that. So he'll take his movement and head this way. This Minotaur goes over here, is able to grab this guy from under the horse, and he brings him over to the red Minotaur. This one goes over to this guy and grabs the body, or he grabs both bodies and puts them over his shoulder and comes back. Lacan?
Is the grass tall or short?
Where you're at, that bush, that's essentially like a tall bush.
I meant
And the
like,
grass
hold
is
on,
pretty
like,
short.
Yeah, like, or if I could get the pointer, like just the general grass.
Yeah, it's short. The way I do it is if you do your full movement, you have to make a stealth check, and if you do
No,
a
no, like
dash,
if I
you
were
have
to
to make
go-
a stealth check.
If I were to go prone, would I be above the grass still, or?
No, you'd be like halfway, half to a quarter covered of the grass, I guess. It's not like super tall. Like I guess if you're standing in it, it goes up to about mid calf. How about that? So
Yeah,
about
yeah,
half
okay.
a foot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold the dash action for now.
Okay. Does anyone inside the hut do anything differently?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the Minotaur that you guys can see, the glow, he grabs this soldier, and the soldier is like screaming, like, "No, no, please, please, I'll give you anything you want." And you can hear him start to say in that low voice something, and he has both hands on this dude's head, and you just see the helmet start to shrink as he starts to crush it, and you can hear the skull essentially exploding inside of the helmet. And after that, he kind of tosses the body, or tosses the corpse of this soldier to that Minotaur that's right next to him. And then he starts walking down this way to investigate the noise that he had just heard earlier. And as he gets down there, he starts to sniff around, but he doesn't seem to be picking up on anything, thanks to the fireball fumes. Lacan? He doesn't seem to be picking you up on anything. Do you want to use your reaction, though?
No, he didn't seem to be going towards me. He's just kind of like in the general vicinity.
Correct.
So I will continue to hold that dash action.
Alright. We'll just say, for the sake of everything, that eventually he turns around and starts saying something, and you can watch as they start to, very briskly walk away from this area towards the northeast. until eventually you watch as they're moving through the bushes, and eventually they get to a point to where you can't see them anymore. And that is the end of that encounter. Look on, you can move freely.
I'm not gonna go too far down, but just like a little bit to see if that guy, if he's gone, if he like.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be there
Yeah.
at all. You can't see any trace.
All right. I
Actually,
will
is
make my
this-
way back to the party. Well, I managed to save one of them, but unfortunately, too slow for the rest.
He ran off.
Yeah, I helped him go south a bit and told him to go the rest of the way.
Okay. Well, I feel like we should just stay here, and sleep for tonight, because we can't see what's out there, and I'd rather not disturb whatever those creatures were.
They were Minotaur.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is the war zone they were talking about. That's why all those soldiers have those haggard looks on their faces. Well, we should be fine till morning, as long as we keep quiet.
Well, actually, I can't because we're still invisible, but I attempt to look at where Cyrene could be, even though no one would notice that.
Considering she hasn't moved and she made a lot of noise when she was moving, you kind of have a general idea of where she's currently standing / sitting inside of the hut. But she has no idea that you're looking towards her. Mirrodin could if it was, a couple days ago.
Sure.
Okay. So as you guys are sitting there, do you guys do watches or anything like that? Or does everybody go to sleep?
What time of day is it?
At this point, it's about like 10 p.m.
I'll keep watch for a couple of hours before trancing out.
Okay. Eventually, your invisibility spell does wear off, so everybody that was invisible pops back into existence. And Ryu and Abel have since put their weapons away since they can't see any noticeable threats. Abel looks to you, Mirrodin, and says, "Wake me before you trance, please."
Alright.
And Ryu's like, "Nah, dog, I'm gonna go sleep." Or something like that. I'm just kidding. I don't know what Dallas would actually say, but it's probably something gay. So,
I'll take the watch before dawn.
okay. So then Abel he says he'll wake you up before he catches a quick nap. So Mirrodin, as you are the only one that is awake right now, go ahead and roll a perception for me. So as you're looking around, you hear rustling coming from the bushes, and you can see that faint glow as it starts to approach you. And this is about 3 hours into your watch. And you can see it's slowly creeping up to this rock. And it's sniffing. You can hear it. You can hear its great large nostrils. It gets up to the rock and it starts to touch it. And then it comes down to your bubble, almost peering directly at you as it touches the bubble. And then it knocks onto the rock, and then knocks onto the bubble, and you can hear a distinct difference in the tone. He stands back a little ways, and he sits down.
What time of day is it again?
Currently, it's like 1 in the morning.
Okay. And who's awake right now? Just
Mirrodin.
it's Verdun. Okay.
And as he sits down, he's intently looking at this sphere, this perfectly gray sphere, right next to this jagged-ass rock. Does Mirrodin do anything? Or do you kind of just like keep an eye on this guy for an hour before you go into your trance?
Yeah, I'll just keep an eye on them.
Okay. Towards the end of your hour, you go to wake up Abel, and as Abel starts to get up, he attempts to speak.
I shut him up, put my hand over his mouth, point at the dude.
And as he does, I'll have you both roll a stealth check. Okay. As you look over to this Minotaur, you see his ears kind of perk up, and then he keeps intently looking at the bubble. And Abel looks back at you, and he kind of like shrugs in a sort of like a shit, I'm sorry kind of gesture.
I trance.
Okay. Abel kind of just sits there and keeps an eye on this Minotaur as it keeps an eye on you guys. Eventually, about an hour into Abel's watch, the Minotaur leaves. He can hear the rustling fade away, at which point Abel... Let's see. Someone roll a d20 for me. This will determine what I think Abel would do. First one to do it. There's a d20. Abel goes to wake up Lacan. Oh, Lacan. There was great red Minotaur. I think he knows we're here.
And where is he now?
He went back in bushes. I no see him no more. But I need rest.
Hmm.
Should we do anything?
If he backed off, probably not, but we should be ready for an ambush when everyone wakes up.
Very well. Wake everybody up 30 minutes before tiny hut go away. For now, me sleep. And Lacan, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Hey, if we do things in the tiny hut, can it be seen from the outside?
No.
What
Nope,
about
nothing
light?
you can do. Even light, you can't see it from the outside. Outside, literally the whole time Tiny Hut is open or up, all you see is the dome. You can hear things from inside of it, but you can't see them, regardless of how
I mean-
bright it is.
Oh, I'm trying to.
You guys
reread
can
it.
see outside of it.
No, I
They
meant
can't
like,
see
I'm
inside
trying
of it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to reread it. Like, in other words, if I were to make light from inside,
Yeah,
would
you'd
it
be
stay
fine.
inside,
Yeah,
or
exactly,
would it help, or would it peer out?
it would stay inside.
Okay, well, let me roll that perception.
Okay. So as you're looking around and scouting around, you hear rustling coming from the north about an hour before your watch ends, but you don't see anything. And then you hear rustling coming from the west, and then from the south, and then from the east. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Interesting.
Cool. Awesome.
We're surrounded.
Okay. Let me end my stream real quick, and then I'll be right back. All right. For those of you that were watching, aka nobody, because I ain't got viewers yet, and I don't anticipate we play. Yeah, play on Saturday nights. I think everybody's out doing stuff on Saturday nights typically, but you know, maybe one day. But mostly this is for recording. That way I can go back, or the players can go back if they miss something and be like, "What was it that he told us?" Things like that. So it's more for recording. Although it would be cool to have viewers, because I've seen the stuff Matt Coville does with his, like how they can essentially run the city from the chat. I think that's a really cool idea, but obviously you got to have the following for that to happen. So it's unfortunate, but maybe one day we'll get there. But appreciate anyone and everyone that watches this, and until next time, peace.